Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Monarch is officially here, aka King Kong versus Godzilla. What this is a new event within Warzone. There's new challenges, there's a whole new game mode, and what I will say is it is very different and very interesting. So in this video, what I'm going to do is first of all describe the kind of event for you and then break down some of the gameplay. I've played one game so far. I'll explain to you my experience, and then at the very end of the video I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on this one, because as far as it goes, this is probably the event for Warzone that I have the most interesting opinions for. So that's what we're going to dive into later on in the video. But first, let me explain to you what Operation Monarch is. So as far as Operation Monarch goes, as soon as you jump in, you can see right there the brand new playlist titled Operation Monarch. But the other thing that we have is the challenges. So basically what these are challenges that you can complete in game, and by completing them, you get a blueprint. And as you can see, this is the blueprint we have here called Ancient Rivalry. I think this one is pretty cool. You can see King Kong and Godzilla, as well as some kind of like cave painting-esque style things on the side of the weapon, which I think pretty well represents what this event is all about. Now, there's also other rewards as well for completing individual challenges. The first is use the Titan Scream device kill streak 3 times. So I'll explain what that is once we hop in the game. After this is deal 135,000 total damage to Kong in Titan Frenzy events. Those happen in game. Basically, you deal damage to him. I was playing with Who's Immortal. He got like 327,000 damage to the Titans in one game. We don't know how he did it, but he did it. After this, we have collect 3,000 Monarch intel. This is definitely one of the ones that will take the longest period of time, but definitely not the longest. After this, it's the same sort of thing, but to Godzilla. After this, we have play Operation Monarch for 6 hours. This is by far the one that will take the longest, by far. After this, it's a deal 500,000 damage to Titans in general, so that can be to Godzilla or King Kong. After this, it is use the kill streak once. And then finally, after that, it's place in the top 30% 12 times. This was pretty easy. We won our very first game that we played. So now that we've looked at the challenges, let's dive in and actually have a look at what the gameplay is like. So in general, the gameplay is pretty simple. It is most similar to any sort of resurgence mode. As long as one of your teammates is alive, you get to respawn until respawning is disabled later on in the game, which happened very close to the end of the game for us. The difference is there's a giant King Kong and a giant Godzilla on the map. They will do attacks randomly around the map towards various different characters, and if you're in it, you are pretty much dead. Now, you also have the opportunity to control these characters. Now, you don't really like get to walk them around and control them like that, but you get to control where their attacks go. So if you're King Kong, you can kind of jump towards targets or throw rocks at them, and if you're Godzilla, you can shoot this like hyper beam at people and it lights the area on fire, and if you hit anyone, they are pretty much dead, whether they are outside or inside. It does a lot of damage. Now, the good thing about this is if you're in that area, it basically gives you a warning and time to escape that area. The thing is if people are camping in a building and you use those abilities on one of those buildings, it forces them to go out of it. And in my opinion, that is a really, really great thing to counteract campers within this mode. Now, the other thing, and the bar that you can see on the right-hand side, is Monarch challenges. So essentially what these are is by doing certain things in game. It can be from opening chests, it can be from killing enemies, it can be from shooting the Titans. You get these Titan points, and every time you get them, you get different abilities. By the time you hit 100 points, you get that little thing, the screen thing that we talked about before. And what this does is it allows you to use those super abilities that King Kong and that Godzilla have. By using these, you can take out other enemies, and your essential goal by the end of the game is to win, to be the last team standing, just like any other battle royale. That is basically the simplest way of looking at this mode. Now, let me give you my opinion on it. Personally, this wasn't a mode that I was necessarily looking forward to. I didn't think it would work properly. I thought it would be really janky, and I am proud to say that I am wrong. This is a really, really cool mode. It basically takes the resurgence mode and cranks it up to 11. It puts giant monkeys and giant dinosaurs on the map that aren't ridiculously overpowered. At times it can be frustrating, but in general, I think they're balanced pretty well and do the right things. It makes players move around the map. And no, you can still go and play normal Battle Royale or Rebirth Island, but this mode is there and it is a lot of fun. And I will go out and say, I think this is one of the best modes that they have added to the game in a long time. First of all, it gives you another objective. By collecting the Monarch intel, it makes it so that you can eventually control these beasts. On top of this, there is giant monkeys and giant dinosaurs that you can shoot in game that give you these points. And on top of that, these giant monsters counteract campers, which is probably my favorite thing about this mode. Now, on top of this, it's a very fast-paced mode, which means that you can get a very, very high kill count in this mode. Now, we played one game, we didn't really know what we were doing, and I think as a squad of 3, we got around 30 kills, which isn't the best, but again, we didn't really know what we were doing, and I will say one of the best way to get the Monarch intel is to actually go out and kill other players, and since they can use resurgence, there's a lot of players to kill on the map at once, which means this is a very fast-paced mode, and on top of this, with the dinosaur and with the monkey, they counteract campers, which makes people move around the map, and honestly, I just have to say, I think this mode works really well. Now, it is clear that the developers put a lot of time into this mode. Throughout the one game that I played, we had one circumstance where frames dropped quite a bit for maybe about 20 seconds. Other than that, it worked out pretty well. The question I have with this is, where does this mode go? Is it just here for this LTM and then is completely gone? Or are they planning on doing more and more of these? With the amount of work that seemingly went into these, you'd think they would keep it around for a while or rotate it in every few weekends, but we don't really know what will happen with that. And that's kind of a question I have for Warzone in general. With these modes that you've put a lot of time into and effort and development money and things like that, they're not often there for a very long time. So my question is, what happens to them after this event is over? I'm curious, are they going to add in other giant monsters, or is this just going to kind of be the end of it? But in general, that is what Operation Monarch is. It's King Kong versus Godzilla meets Resurgence. It's a pretty good mode. I really enjoyed playing it. It's not going to be like the staple mode that I play every day, but for now, it is a lot of fun. Now, if you guys have played so far, I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know your opinions on this mode down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you enjoyed the video, it is always appreciated if you hit that like button, and of course, if you want to stay up to date on everything Call of Duty, we have plenty more coming with Operation Monarch, and of course Modern Warfare 2 right around the corner. So make sure you're subscribed, have notifications on. This was Operation Monarch. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars.